audio link mode.
Smarna is like very outgoing, compassionate. She has lot of friends. She always
are you? Good to see
We've
you.
got to stop eating like this. I'm making a cup of tea. So hang on.
I'm happy you are giving some money to Indians.
Listen, if it weren't for the Indian restaurants and when I was going to school, I would have starved to death, okay?
Where was this which you have starved? Welcome, Mr. Tauber.
Hi.
When I was in Scotland, all the Indian restaurants, that's where I ate at. I would have starved to death.
Indian food is very addictive.
Oh, yeah. Good, too.
Very
The
addictive.
hotter, the better.
I'm thinking of getting Ed addicted to Indian food. He's not taking my bait.
Let's see. Oh.
Sunglasses.
Sun's that way.
Where was he telling us?
Need a thing to prop it up.
Yeah, we need a book.
You know? Okay. All right, I have my tea and my yogurt. I'm happy.
On Sundays,
You want to put it up on that?
Yeah, let's try it.
Yeah.
Because you know, Dr. Mahapatra, in Scotland, when you
It's
the Indian restaurants would stay open, you know, till after midnight, so you could come out of the library and you could go get dinner at the Indian restaurant.
yes, yes.
No, it's just a second.
They work very hard. I
I
remember
don't know what to do. Just hold it there.
I can,
Hi.
the very first time I and my family were in Paris together.
you have to hold it the whole time.
Apparently.
No,
You
it's
got-
better to get something.
Well, get something then.
Let go of it.
In 86,
it looks like the sun is shining today.
Yeah. There, he's futzing around with something.
well, it shines every day, just not in coast.
From this.
It depends on the
I'll
karma.
let you go.
Depends on the karma of the people of course.
It's yours, right? So in case it falls over. It's not mine.
We have two words in Sanskrit. One is karma, the other is dharma. Karma is your destiny. Dharma is your good deeds. So one feeds the other.
This does.
Okay, Diana will not be here. Floyd will not be here. Okay, they sent emails. I'm not sure about Rod because he said he had an appointment at 4. So I'm not sure if he had to travel to the appointment, okay? And I have a thing from, I think I scanned it to you, Dr. Mahapatra, Floyd's response about the information for his RILA? Okay, did you get that?
Not yet. I have to open my email
Okay.
after that.
He said that he's gonna contact the district coordinator to find out what's happening with the camp because of COVID-19, okay?
In fact, this coming July, I think we had a continuing education trip with the Rotary of the
Yeah, and he said that we normally sponsor 3 to 4 students to the RILA and Pride programs. So this should be allocated in the budget, okay?
We'll do so. We'll do. So the trip was on the Trans-Canada Railway, and the Canadians didn't want Americans yet in their country, so we couldn't go. It was canceled yesterday.
What was canceled yesterday?
A trip
Oh, trip to Canada, okay.
to Canada, but Trans-Canada, starting in Toronto, ending in Vancouver on the Canadian Pacific.
And they canceled it?
That was not, the train is running, but Americans are not allowed. Because of the COVID situation, they think it's not under control in US. US is simply hiding it.
Okay.
So it was actually Riverside County Medical Association, once a year this trip takes
Well, I
place.
understand that Governor Newsom is going to extend the moratorium till July 15th.
Oh, Mama Mia, I didn't.
Yeah,
Oh, I didn't hear that. Did you hear that? Something about
I didn't hear that.
ending a moratorium. I don't know.
yeah, it was supposed to be lifted
So,
June
I
15th.
thought she said
and
until
July.
July 15.
So,
I don't,
Be prepared.
what's being extended till July 15th?
The moratorium
On what?
19, that he was gonna lift it June 15th, now it's
Right,
being
okay, it's gonna lift it.
July.
Yeah, okay.
naturally. Keep more people from working.
so stay in Newport Beach. You guys look good in Newport Beach.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's cool. It's nice today.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
In Indian
Yeah.
Wells, you guys are miserable. You stay there. You look better and happier. Your face is
Sure.
not.
I'll show what it looks like here. We're right above Pelican Hill Golf Course.
oh, wow. I know that hill well. That used to be where the buffalo roamed.
Yeah. A lot of people out playing golf.
I used to tell them at Eisenhower when I would take the 4 months off during the summer. And I'd come back, they'd say, my God, you look so young. I'd say, every month you're gone, you unaged 10 years. So that's what's gonna happen to you for the 2 months you're gonna be gone, you're gonna unage 20.
4 months, 4.5 if we're lucky.
Yeah, Sang is coming, just getting me a email saying coming. And Mr. Sanders, you look good.
Thank
So-
you.
Hi,
Feeling good.
Greg.
How are you?
Hey,
Good.
How's the OC?
It's just fine.
I spoke to you on Monday, which was yesterday. I forgot that you not only owe me the Dien Bien Phu report, you also owe me the report on the book I gave you, book report.
You mean,
I didn't know that there was gonna be a test.
Yes, yes. It's not a test, it's a book report. It will be presented to the
Oh, that's a fantastic book.
club. Yeah.
I've read it, yes. Fantastic.
about how the British raped India?
hello.
Is that what you're gonna report on, Greg? That's what you're gonna give your talk on?
Oh, no.
Oh.
No.
The one I was already had scheduled was his report on a similar situation the French had in a place called Dien Bien Phu. But this time it was stopping the Americans, so they didn't succeed.
That's right.
They didn't succeed at all.
Yeah.
Greg was a player there. he was an were you an artillery officer there, Greg? Or
Infantry,
sorry?
infantry.
Oh, yeah.
Artillery is for sissies.
Did you get to fire any of those artillery that U.S. Army had? They are,
Yeah, I fired a 105 howitzer. Yeah,
they even have bigger 150.
they have 155s and 175s.
Oh, mama.
Yeah. The 175 can fire a shell about 20 miles or so,
The more, depending on the.
Yeah.
Yeah.
depending on the angle.
Yeah.
Right.
I did.
5-degree angle is the
Good
one
afternoon.
longest distance.
Good afternoon.
Afternoon, good, Mr. Elephant. And I saw you yesterday. You were supposed to have changed your shirt, but you didn't.
You're right. I didn't.
Yes.
I get 2 days out of every shirt.
Not you change it
Get
every
3 days out of my britches.
because he's the one the sang you send him the laundry. Some little income.
When you don't go anywhere or see anybody, who cares?
That's like the old army joke about this unit that had been in the field for a long, long time. And the supply sergeant rolls up in a Jeep and he says, I have good news and bad news. The good news is everybody gets to change their underwear. The bad news is you change with him, he'll change with you, you change with him.
Ew. Ew. I thought it was going to be somebody got to bash them. Limits.
So what's the weather like at the coast?
It's beautiful
It's
today.
lovely.
Hmm.
Look at him. They are so comfortable. They look like beach people from
Vacationing.
Oh, it looks so Orange County.
picture of California.
Ed's got to undo his top button. Then he's more casual.
So they are the classic California picture of the country that has about California. Sunglasses, blonde hair, these are all classic California.
So what building are you in, Ed?
4,000.
Oh, good building.
Yeah, we got here last year by accident because our regular building wasn't open, and we decided we liked it better. So
Yeah, I either stay in the 4,000 or 4,100.
yeah,
It's right above the golf course.
yeah, it's the
Yeah.
top floor. Yeah, on
Right.
an end unit. It's really nice. Well, maybe we will see you.
When are you guys coming? August?
August 6th.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dick, did you see that note from Greg Rodriguez?
I did.
Okay, I forwarded it to you.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, I saw the article in the paper, but I don't think anything's committed yet. They're still up in the air.
Nothing, yes.
Oh, just for your information, we were at Anita Powers yesterday. Her air conditioner went out, and she sends her love to all of us.
Oh, haven't talked to her for quite a while.
Her children were coming down.
Wonder what she's doing with all that wine.
I didn't ask. I should have asked for payment in wine, huh?
She could have paid you royally. Still has a whole wine room. As a matter of fact, if the house is hot, she could go in the wine room and stay cool.
I should have told her that because she said I had to bring a floor fan in to get the bedroom down to 82. I forgot to tell her she could have slept in the wine room.
That's right.
In our bedroom, one bedroom and the kitchen, they are connected. And our Cocker Spaniel is completely black, so he goes back and forth. For that, we keep this room at 78. Otherwise, he'll become too hot. Yeah, it's, the rest of the house about 70, 88. So,
Must get pretty warm at the cleaners there, doesn't it, Sing?
No, we are very cold. Everybody wearing the sweater. Because we have 5 big swarm coolers, 5
Oh.
big exhaust fan. Its
Okay.
air is circulated.
Yeah,
So everybody, 10 compressors, their own, that for dogs.
That's amazing.
So some of them has scarf or sweater. Yeah. Except that the monsoon season, when that for,
yeah, the humid.
it's the humid is coming at 2-3 weeks per year. At that time is it's not easy, but
Yeah.
the other days, we are very comfortable. So yeah, so we
That's a great
try.
idea.
Yeah,
Why don't I come by there in the summertime and you've got your front door standing open?
yes. So it's the first design for cleaners is air circulation.
Yeah.
That's why it's old idea. Used to be the solvent, perchloroethylene, was toxic and then very kind of the bad odor. But now we using new solvent. That one has no odors whatsoever.
Oh.
But it take more time, 3 times more than all the type solvent. But it's much safer, and then it's but we spend more time to cleaning. It's only the power is 1/3 of that compared with the old the pork solvent. So we need 3 times more than that. So, but except that, everything much better, safer, and it's good. Yeah.
Mhm.
Thank you for asking.
When Jan and I moved to the desert, we rented Judy Garland's house, although we didn't know at the time it was Judy Garland's house.
Mm.
The broker never informed us, but it was desert cooler. There was no air conditioning,
I know, yeah.
and we lived in our swimming suits.
Yeah, we have to buy our swarm cooler from the Arizona. It's only commercial, the big size, the swarm coolers. It
Yeah.
couldn't find it the Home Depot or other places. So that one is using special crane on it. Even we change the pad as every year for $2,000.
Wow.
The pad is this big, and then other, so, but it's a good. It's very comfortable. If you have anything problem with your air conditioning, stop over. I'll give you a chair, and then you bring the sweater. It's a nice, yes.
It's Dorothy, are we expecting anybody or we have a quorum?
Well, I never heard back from Ward. And some of the others that didn't respond to me, only the ones that are here responded. And so I'm not sure.
We
I
have people, does that count as a quorum, Mr. Sanders?
A quorum is one more than a majority.
Okay.
Excuse me, is a majority, which is one more than half. How many board members do we have?
1, 2, 3. Hang on, I'm counting. I lost the first page. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I count 8. Is that right? Is that what you count? 8?
Oh, there's 7 on and we're missing people.
Yeah,
No, I think there's more than 8.
there's
I
myself.
thought there were like 13.
Oh, we have 6 of us here.
7.
One,
Yeah,
two,
Corinne's on the board, and
three,
Rod and Diana are not here,
Ward.
and Ward.
5, 6,
Let's see.
Doug Hanson, is he on the board?
Now,
7,
No.
8.
Well, let's just decree that we have a quorum.
There you
Yeah.
go.
Yeah, it looks like it to me.
We will,
I will, as the parliamentarian, I will
You bless it.
blessing here.
It's
Right.
the law. Craig is the law.
No, that's dangerous.
create a quorum.
It's good to be the king.
Oh, not so much.
And today's board meeting must have a minute, and Corinne, if you need a transcript of this, I'll mail you one, because this one today is getting recorded on YouTube. So you can make all kinds of noise and we'll put it on YouTube for everybody to see. No, I'm just making it up. Come on, who is that? I have no idea. So today's agenda is really only one, because we need the approval of the board to sign the contract with the view. Now, as I remember,
Sounds like an iPhone.
Yeah, it did.
and yeah, somebody, my doctors, I have an appointment tomorrow, so 3 of them. So they are reminding me today, I have 3 doctors appointment tomorrow. That's this story of old age. And I remember the email from Mr. Sanders. Let me see when was done. Sometimes in actually May 16th, that he read through the contract. It is nothing unusual in it. It is a standard, and the charges are reasonable, and we should incorporate that under our bylaws to our annual budget. And recommendation.
Yeah.
If I can add to that, Professor, it's just a contract of convenience. We're not making any money
No,
on it. We're just kind of a collection agency, if you will. And it's really an obligation of the members to
yeah,
pay for the lunch.
yes. And my recommendation is we do accept this contract. The other is, this is not a vehicle of making money. We have enough members. I know who they are. If we need any money, we can take care from their checkbooks. So, it's not all that unreasonable. I know some people, at least 2 or 3.
It also reserves the room for us also.
Yeah,
Every Monday, yeah.
the whole idea is we get together, we see each other, and we have on books that, yes, we do meet, and we have some source. I mean, I love to see you guys in person. I told you all that on yesterday. Once I evaluate all of you, then I have Dr. Sofina to look at you guys. No, I'm just kidding.
Now, let me also say, this is opening up a legal Pandora's box, but the contract is with the Indian Wells Golf Resort. Well, the Indian Wells Golf Resort does not exist as a separate legal entity. So if we ever welched on the contract, we can always say, well, you know.
You don't exist.
Exactly. Right.
No, that's not our club. We are not watching our words. And I'm actually looking forward to that. Just everybody getting together and then
Yes.
back to our old. I missed that. And then, of course, I fell ill. But at least I was able to set up the Zoom. So at least we have not lost in touch with each other. That's the most important thing. After all, it is a volunteer camaraderie association. That's
Do we need to vote on this?
yeah,
So when
Okay.
does the contract become effective?
July 1st. But we don't implement it until September 1st.
Okay, so September is when we'll start.
Yeah.
So the The one part of the contract is what is known as a consideration, which is until they start giving us some benefit. That's the consideration. And that becomes the effective on that.
Okay.
So I still remember a little bit of my contract.
I move its approval.
I second the motion. And
Call for the vote.
we'll call for the vote. Everybody, please raise your right hand, not your left hand. No, sorry. Say,
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
Looks like we're all eyes.
Oh,
all eyes.
Okay.
no, I just want to have a bit fun. Even if this is not somewhere you should be to say. It's not a.
I have a question. Ricardo sent a list
Yes.
of, I think, 32 members or some such thing that he claimed we have in our club.
Yes.
A number of those people we haven't heard from in a long time. It's
Yeah.
hard to know. So the reality, I guess, is we don't want to obligate ourselves for a bunch of people who actually never show up again. Some of the people don't come very regularly anyway. So how are we going to determine how many people are actually members?
I'll tell you how we did it when I took over. We didn't pay them until 90 days, until we have collected, and our members are then actually in good standing. So
Okay.
this has no meaning as of July 1st. I'm going to actually this Thursday send out everybody their invoice, but once they are paid, we still give them, I think, traditionally about 90 days. We can reduce it always, but once that becomes effective, then they become effective as of July 1st, and that is our official count, because we pay.
Okay.
Are the invoices in the mail or are they going to be on emails?
I will actually send an email to everyone, which the heading would be the dues for Indian Wells Rotary 21-22, and the dues are $250. And then in the main body, it will have the address to mail it and a request to mail a check, because we don't have ability at the moment to process any credit cards. And then also one space where you put in your your name, and then another space for any contribution to foundation. You can make it all in. I would prefer 2 checks, then it is easier to account and give it to the foundation, because that should show up somewhere along the line that accounting was not done, which was Claudette supposed to have done. So as a result, those who contributed, our name doesn't show up in the foundation with the central, and actually, what's his name, Frederick's caught it, that it didn't show up there. So this time we'll do it correctly. It will show up for sure.
What happened to our ability to use credit cards?
Sorry?
What happened to our ability to use credit cards?
Yeah, up the price. There's so much at the moment. We'll use it when we get back to face-to-face meeting. At the moment,
Because so many of our people, that's how they pay.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. But everybody has a credit card. Some kind of checking system. So
I'm hoping that the credit card machine is in Steve Rosen's little closet at the View where we keep everything, because it has not shown up, the little Clover machine, so I'm hoping that's where it is.
and also I'll verify, because sometimes credit card company, in this case it's First Data, I think, they cancel you or put a stop to processing unless there is some ongoing process and you ask them to reactivate and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
First Data actually is one of the least expensive.
Unfortunately, I don't have any legal right to ask any of that information because I'm not on the bank. So I can't even go and ask how to do it. I get told, we can't tell you anything because you're not on the signature line. even if I just ask a generic question.
I'll talk to Margaret because I'm still on,
Okay.
I'm a signatory.
Yeah,
So figure that out
you are the only signatory actually active. Yeah,
at the moment, yes.
yeah.
And
So
Well, we should get our treasurer on it and you too, Dorothy.
Well, we went over when all of the, with Claudette being, no longer in the club, we went to the bank to ask how to do it so that we could get Diana on the bank account with Dr. Mahapatra. And the bank told us it was too much trouble. We're not going to do it.
now I have to take her with me. They did give her paperwork, but all that paperwork has to be either notarized or signed by me.
No, what we
Well-
need to do is to vote on it and you take the minutes to
Yes,
the bank
yes.
and they will give you signature cards.
Yeah, we had
Uh,
we had information for the letter.
Yeah.
All we were doing was asking to verify if that's what we needed to do, and we were told it was too much trouble, come back in July.
But at the
You
same,
know,
Then we need a different bank.
that's what I suggested to start with.
Right,
You
exactly.
know, Dorothy, if you recall, I suggested we go to another bank for a reason I gave you.
Yeah,
And this would be a good opportunity to do that.
well, I've already asked that because I do Pacific Western Bank and I also do PNB, and I asked them what was the protocol, and it was just like a piece of cake. You know what I mean? There wasn't no, like
Let's do it.
that.
too much
Yeah.
trouble or anything like that. So it's not my decision to make. We'll have to let the board make that decision.
Yeah,
Well,
right.
Here's the time to do it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I know Diana's also in favor of change,
changing the bank,
You know,
I don't, now what about the Rotary Foundation has their own bank account, right? Because they're a 501c,
Separate entity, correct.
separate activity. So that will be their decision as to what to do with that, right? We're talking
Right.
about the general Rotary account where we
then
pay all the bills from.
the-
Who's that masked man?
Say a word.
It's a burglar. Call the cops.
Go to the bank.
Speaking of banks,
You
Speaking of
post that.
banks,
Oh
yeah.
my gosh.
and adding me to the account.
I would,
I had a
Oh, how are you?
Hi.
all my
You must be out hiking.
so we definitely and at the same time we'll see if the bank manager can also come and join us. I know her for longest of the time when she was at the Citibank. Sorry, what's that? Indian
Who is that?
Margaret started with Chase.
Nugget.
You
Before
know, another one is the manager of First Foundation in Indian Wells,
Yeah,
Andrea Dura. Andrea comes to a lot of our meetings.
yeah.
yes.
Well, I move that we find a new bank to start over with for a number of different reasons. And as a number of you said, there are different alternative banks out in the area that we could go to. And then we don't have this problem that we've had.
I
Right
figured
now.
a bank in Indian Wells would be great. There's 3 banks for us to choose from in Indian Wells. And I think it'd be a great idea,
Yeah. What do we have to do that? I know we said we have to vote on it. So I
Let's
make a motion.
that we do that.
Okay, Dick, I make a motion that we move to a different bank there in Indian Wells. Professor, you and Dorothy decide who you want to go to, but any other bank will work better than what we're dealing with now.
And also authorize in that motion, Dorothy and Diane to be signatories on the account.
Yes.
Yes. And
One more thing that Rod also brought up before we vote on this is to keep the merchant bank account open with at least $100 so that we can get past reports if we need it. If we close it, we'll be cut off. So to keep just a small amount of money in the bank account, that's what Rod said to do.
It's probably pretty good advice.
Okay,
That way we can go back as far
Yeah.
as long as we've had the account to get information. So,
One caveat, the bank is going to want the minutes authorizing the opening of the account
Right.
at a specific bank. So I think
Oh,
what we got to do,
specifically.
well, at Pacific Western Bank, she said she would take care of that. I spoke with the bank manager. She says, oh, we do that.
well, no, the
Good.
minute would need to say, Dorothy is authorized to open an account at XYZ Bank.
yes.
Uh,
So
So we
So pick
can,
a bank.
which bank do you want to open the account at then, Dorothy?
Well, it's whatever one you want to go to. If Dick, if you have a working relationship with Foundation, I don't care. I mean, if she comes to Rotary meetings, it would be a nice gesture.
Well,
And that's
Andreas,
right in the little, across the street from the old Ralph Shopping Center, that bank is right here.
What's the bank?
Foundation Bank,
Foundation Bank.
yeah.
Which bank has the account for our foundation?
Only Doug seems to know all these facts.
I don't know, because I couldn't get any information, okay? I couldn't ask. Okay.
Um,
well, our scholarship accounts at the Desert Community Foundation.
Yeah, that's,
Yes,
so
but-
that.
No, the banking for the Rotary Foundation, right?
yes, that Doug opened.
And three of us here sat on that board.
Yeah. And I don't know what bank that's at, but I know it's a separate bank account.
Yeah, it's just,
Well, the Desert Community Foundation uses First Foundation.
Oh, okay. So that's probably where it is then, right?
we'll find
Not,
out.
not necessarily,
Oh,
Doug
It's
opened it.
probably invested.
Yeah.
The reason we need to know where is our money for the foundation, when you write a check,
We do get 2 bank statements per month from the bank, and I don't know if one of those could be First Data, but First Data comes in its own processing form. But there are 2 bank statements a month coming from merchants.
Look at the balance. At
Look-
one time, there was like 51,000 or something other.
I
Probably
turned
been
over
drawn
to
down.
Diana without opening them, so we have to ask her.
if
Okay,
you have the statement, it will have the name of the bank on it.
Yeah.
What I'm trying to ask, and why the reason, once anybody makes a donation, it actually goes to the foundation, because foundation is allowed, your deposit in the foundation allows you to make it in your tax return as a deductible item and not to the club, because club does not qualify as a deduction on your 1040. So that's why it goes through the foundation. Any kind of money that you give, which allows you to then accept for our the annual dues, it has to go through the club account. It is not an item deductible because it is considered a membership in a club. But any other money that goes to the foundation is eligible for deduction tax purposes, but must be deposited in that account. Normally what happens is this treasurer for the foundation and the president are the 2 signatories. At the moment, the president has come off because the past president of the club becomes the president of the foundation. Treasurer at the moment, we have not changed, it is still Doug. So Doug at the moment only is the one who signs any check. Dorothy is out, so, sorry, not Dorothy, Claudette. So I have to find that bank account, then get my name on it, because amount of check, if it is more than certain amount, I forget what the amount, needs 2 signatures, president and treasurer. So, and the president becomes the past president of the club becomes the president of the foundation.
And that will be you. That will be you, July 1st.
Me at the moment, and then after that followed by you, then Wilson. That's in our bylaws. That's in our bylaws. So I have to go and see where because when we gave out those funds as donations to the, one was to Rescue Mission and another was to a Foundation for the Aging, where in fact I made matching donations. That money went to the foundation. When the time came to write the check, I saw I have no authority to write the check, only Doug. So Doug wrote the checks.
Also, Dorothy, a lot of times the bank will have the form that they
Yeah.
want you to get approved.
Right,
So it's got all the right language.
yeah, that's what she said, yeah, so.
And I remember,
At Pacific Western Bank, that's what she was telling me.
Yeah, most banks have that.
Yeah, she says we have the forms like that, so.
So I made a motion to
Board
change
resolution.
banks. I think we should vote on it, Professor. So we have a formal vote.
We need a board resolution, I think, to open a bank account.
We did.
And the
in addition,
language of that will be given to us by the bank.
Okay.
That's what she said.
I'll second the motion.
and everybody in favor of changing our bank, please raise your right hand. And tell the truth. Promise to.
Case of Ed, left hand.
That's your other right.
Right.
Also, the fact that we need to leave the mechanics bank with a little bit of money in it, that we'll have to be probably depositing some funds into it
Yes.
occasionally, so
Okay.
everybody's aware.
I think the minimum amount they want is $100.
Yeah, $100. That's what Rod said. Keep $100 in it at all times.
What was the name of the mechanics bank? It's
Rabobank.
it's a Dutch bank actually.
Used to be Rabobank.
Yeah,
Still have their debit card because I have my account with them. And so I used it one time, that card in Amsterdam. So in a debit card using in Amsterdam, there was no fee because it was a Rabobank. Yeah.
Next item of business.
Yes. Dorothy, what's the next item?
You were gonna do the agenda, Dr. Mahapatra. You said I'll do the agenda. That was your email. But we do need to look at some of the budget items, okay? Whatever we need to see what we need for next year. Some of the crucial ones. I know that the RILA and the Pride, we usually budget $2,000 a year for that. So we just need to know if you want to continue doing the RILA at 2,000, whether we know there's going to be a camp or not.
just.
I think we do.
Yeah.
Just to add to what
That's
Dorothy
per
said,
Floyd. That's what Floyd sent me an email about, that we usually budget 2,000.
Yes.
the way the bylaws are presently worded, once the board adopts a budget, that is the authority for the treasurer to write a check. So
Yes.
as long as an item is in the budget, then the treasurer can write a check. The treasurer does not have to come back to the board for each and every expenditure that is authorized in the budget.
As long as it doesn't succeed that, Greg, if it's more, if more is needed.
If it's more than it requires board action, correct?
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
So we need to structure a budget that we can approve.
Yes, we do.
And being as how none of us have seen anything from the treasurer in the past, I don't even know where we stand. I was told that I didn't need to know.
We sort of expected
Quote
that.
unquote, okay.
Jesus.
Let me see if I can make up a preliminary budget based on the prior year's income statement. Because I do have per prior year's income statement on my desk. I'll make up a preliminary one and then I can send it. I think it can be approved email, or we need another board to send it.
Actually, this budget will be Dorothy's budget,
Yeah.
Pick something up for you.
So,
because she'll be the
yeah.
president, so
Even though we haven't spent any
you could
money.
circulate that You could circulate that
We
budget
haven't-
so that we
Yeah,
could comment on it.
Okay,
And then,
haven't
yeah,
spent
Dorothy's
any
first
money.
board meeting, we can approve it,
okay.
Yeah.
change it or
We have
whatever.
not spent any money this year, have we, Dr. Mahapatra? I
We-
know of no. Have we spent any money this year?
Not for any item that I remember, but I'll make up
Okay,
a budget for you and I'll just,
okay, perfect. I think then we can work on it from there, right, Greg? Can we take that budget and then
I-
tweak it if need be?
then all the board members can have a look and make their.
Yeah.
items.
If we take Dr. Mahapatra's budget from last year, which is now, can we accept that budget and then do some tweaking to it if necessary?
Oh, that's what we're gonna do.
Yeah,
It's Normally,
Okay, Greg?
yeah, I think Dick kind of laid out the process
Yeah,
correctly.
and we just have to come to
Somebody
the
needs to
board.
just type it up, circulate it,
Okay.
yes,
board members review it, then either through an exchange of emails or another Zoom meeting.
Okay, like if somebody decides that they need more money than we've allocated or an expenditure, we just do another board meeting, right, to increase the funds.
Correct.
Okay,
it's no difficulty. I can set
that's
up
good. I'm good with that.
and I can.
Yeah,
set-
you'll be calling a board meeting, Dorothy, to structure your board.
Yeah, as soon as we do it, yeah. Oh, and also Dr.
Yeah.
Mahapatra, I spoke with Rosalind Schiller, and she's not coming back. Was treated so badly. She has to get over it. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yes.
And so I'm still in the hunt of a secretary because I was going to ask her to be secretary. So we are without a secretary still, okay? So just so you're aware, but unless Corinne, that's okay.
Yeah, I was trying to get her back, but I thought,
I know, I tried. We talked for a long time and she said,
Well, you were going to get back to me with what the duties
yeah,
of
I'm
the.
still working. I'm still waiting for the person to get back to me. So I'm working on
Gotcha.
it, okay? So,
yeah, she is very, very
yeah,
hurt.
very hurt.
That's a shame.
Well,
Right, because she said she never even, the most hurtful thing was that I guess there was something about that Claudette said, well, you resigned, so we're not accepting your dues to that extent. And she said, I never resigned, but anyway.
oh gosh, we should be able to get her back. I mean,
I
the problem is
spoke to her-
gone.
spoke to her. Unless Dr. Mahapatra, do you want to give it a go? I spoke to her for an hour,
I'll tell you, she's on our Desert Community Board. I'll talk to her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good idea, Dick.
Yeah, and I liked her. I used to chat with her all the time.
That since she is no longer Rotary, she's taken on 3 more boards. So I don't know. Okay.
She's a worker.
I know. I've known her for a long time.
Okay.
We tried.
Yeah, that's a real shame.
Yes, it is. It's a real shame.
Who else on that list of 32 or so do we know is not coming back? Now, I know AJ mentioned it. Who else?
Al Weedy,
Steve Rosen, I'm sure.
Steve Rosen,
Yeah,
and
he's
Yeah,
gone.
of course.
RJ, our Poncho, the one who's moving, has more business in Arizona now than he does here. Poncho, is it P-O-N? I can't pronounce his last name.
Brad?
Yeah, no, not Brad. Hang on.
I don't know who you're talking about.
It's,
Yeah, 'cause-
hang on.
No, but that's what she said.
Not Brad. It's RJ, it's Balanco Richard.
Oh, Richard.
Yeah, Richard, sorry. And then also Scott Heidebrink, who was our PR guy, is now, he's going to be doing more business in San Diego, so he will be very limited coming to the desert.
Yeah, he never came much anyway.
Yeah, but he still was our PR guy, whatever. So that's who I'm aware of. And then Lapkolotsky, her Mati, she's a doctor.
Yeah, Hammy. I think.
Yeah. Her email just goes like Mailer Damon every time I try to email her, and I called and I don't get an answer at the phone.
She and Jan communicate,
Okay,
so I'll have her ask her.
okay,
Yes, Hemalata.
that's it. I know she goes to Australia a lot to visit her mother. Is that the one? I'm
Yeah,
thinking of?
she's
Yeah.
a doctor.
Yeah, she's a doctor. Yeah.
Right.
She spent 6 months in US and 6 months in Australia.
And I suppose she's been, because of Australia's strict thing, she's probably been quarantined down there for a long time. And then Bob Wilmoth was just a 6-month hiatus.
Yes.
So he's still active. He said, I have not resigned. I've just taken 6 months off due to my wife's illness.
Yes. Yes.
So that's all I know of besides the ones that we knew about before. Okay.
Thank you.
And we'll try to see if we can grab those from the Sunrise Club.
Well, I did, when I emailed everyone about their dues, with the agenda, those were the people who emailed me back and said I won't be rejoining. And so I didn't hear from anyone else saying I won't be paying my dues. Okay, just so you're aware.
We'll work at it. It's not going to be easy, but I'm not going to give up.
Well, we're gonna have to get back face to face and then we'll start building membership.
Yeah.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Yes. Yes. So for face to face, do we need to get some masks from Venice? No.
I do have. I know we don't have a website person within the Rotary. Is that right? And we don't have anybody that does our website actually within the Rotary. Is that right? Club.
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay, well, I am meeting with someone tomorrow. He came in to see if I wanted to have some business, and I said, oh, well, let me talk to you about, he's starting his new business with taking care of websites. So I thought I would give him a chat and see what he can do, if that's okay with everyone, because I know we do not have anybody to update our website.
Or maintain it.
And maintaining it, yeah. Because my person who does, they don't do that. They just, my computer guy doesn't do that, so.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Find out what you find. I think I may have somebody who does that.
Okay, well, he's a young, he's very young, like he looks like he just got out of high school or first year college. And he's starting his own business. So I thought, well, we'll see what he has.
Did you get a jacket?
So unless somebody knows someone, because we need to update our website terribly.
There was a line item in the foundation income statement for website maintenance. I don't know who they were paying before, but it seems to me the funds were coming out of the foundation budget.
All I can tell you, I was never told that we had anybody that took care of our website.
It was
We
for
need
this-
somebody.
If we
for
did,
this
it
person.
was a dark secret.
There are two things. One is the Facebook account and then website.
Mhm.
I don't know who is actual principal. When our Facebook also, I have no idea who start with and then who is the principal. And then also website has actually owner. I have 4, the Palm Desert Cleaners, like in the, Indian Wells and then Rancho Mirage.
I don't even know. who our
Those
captain is.
things. So it's the first thing is we have to find out who is the, really the, principal. And then after that, that one is automatic to the president or somebody. Then president give it to that the authorities to that the website designer.
Yeah.
And then I met so many web designer who brought in. I have no idea who is the Facebook and then website, the principal. So find out that one first. Yeah.
I asked at one time who is taking care of our website, and I was told you'll need to know when you need to know. And constant contact, I don't know what to do about that. Like how we order, remember how we order our lunches?
You have to go like
You
this.
just click, and I don't know who's taking care of constant contact. So it's a big dark secret out there.
Well, you
You
can
gotta
put
go
it
to
back
our
if you want.
CPA or our
It's
accountant.
kind of like you have to go like that.
And then another things, when you make a budget, I recommending we always has a participating international like peanut butter. That one is 200 or something, not that expensive. So we have to donate it or participating with the international thing. So I will find out there are so many soliciting, but at least one or two projects, our budget has fixed with participating international things. So that's my the suggestion.
Well, Dr. Mahapatra, if this has taught us one thing is one person cannot have all the power. It has to be a committee. I mean, you can't have a person being past president, secretary, treasurer, you need to have so many hands in the pot.
Yeah, we have only Zoom meeting. So when you have a face-to-face, it's much easier. But at least it's for me, that one is I suggest at least.
Yes.
We did for a long time. When I joined 20 years ago, we still participating a lot of international things like a wheelchair, earthquake, and then tsunami, and then a fire or whatever. We participated a lot. That's we proud of that. So at least we steady. One is peanut butter, the project. That one is it's the money is unlimited, but at least we are participating $200 to $500 every year. So at least depend on our budget, we have to add on, put in there. That's appreciate that.
Related to that is the foundation, not the Dick Oliphant Foundation, because that's in the Desert Community Foundation, but the foundation that Doug restarted our own foundation, and you mentioned saying we give to various causes, but in my opinion, the thing was sort of out of control, and I'm not talking behind anybody's back. I specifically said that. As you know, Claudette gave money to Father Lincoln. They gave money to Steve. I'm not saying any of these causes were not justified. That's water under the bridge. The question is how to structure this so we have a group of people involved. And as you said, Dorothy, it's not just one person decides to give money to her church or whatever. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, you have
So whatever we need,
how does the money going out, How did the money come into Rotary? That has to be documented. And how are we sending it out has to be the last documentation.
Yeah, we need a number of people, a group of people, even if it's 2 or 3 on such a board, so that one person doesn't just decide where they want to spend it.
Yeah. Well, but if let's say that the scholarship foundation, just hypothetically, like we have our first business in the fall is going to be scholarships, isn't it, Ed? So you're going to come to the board with how much money you want to give out for scholarships. Does the board approve that, or does the club approve that?
Okay, we're just around the corner.
Yeah, and I have no problem with doing that. The issue I'm concerned about is the foundation that that was established by our club that Doug, is now in charge of.
Mhm.
And because there seemed to be no control or accountability about it, money was given out without anyone knowing it. And so I'm just saying, we need to somehow get control of that so that there are a number of people involved and that any money that's given out is given, with some group, a subgroup of us involved.
Well, on the foundation that you're talking about with Doug, this is just for my knowledge, because again, I didn't know. Is there a committee? Is there Doug and two other people? Is it just Doug?
Well, for example, I did speak to Doug about this, not recently, but maybe a few months ago. He said he didn't want to spend money there. He wanted it to build up so that there'd be enough of funds to generate interest, somewhat like the Oliphant Foundation. And that's fine. I'm not saying that's not a good idea, but it can't just be Doug. It's got to be, some group there that's in control.
Seems strange to me that a club this size has parallel scholarship accounts. I mean,
Yes.
it's the one that we have a Desert Community Foundation. I haven't looked at the balance recently, but I think we're around $300,000 or $400,000.
I think that the last I asked Mary about, I think it was 315,000, and that's been some, a month or so ago, a couple of months. So,
So if we had Doug's money with that, it would be growing faster.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the issue there. What is that money going to be used for? And as you know, it was used for a variety of issues that just came up. In other words, okay, we need masks for COVID. Father Lincoln needs some money. It was just, it was given out and without any discussion or.
But Dick, like with your fund, when we put it in the Desert Community Foundation, we can allocate like discretionary funds where we have the right to use it for something else, right?
Well, the money was raised specifically
Like
for
for
scholarships.
No, I mean, if you were talking about that, if we combine the money, right?
So
Doug's
if we
money
combine the money, it would be all scholarship money.
would all be all scholarship. We couldn't have discretionary funds, right?
That's
Discretionary.
generally correct.
Okay, all right.
I don't think there's any problem of having these two accounts because Doug said that we let it lapse over time and he made the effort to reinstate it. So it has, I don't know what's in it now. He said 51,000 at one point. Maybe it's less because they gave out money. But the advantage of having that is there is some discretion there. It's not just for scholarships. And if we as a club want to give it to various things, as Sang was mentioning, it could be any purpose that we all agree to, that's great. So I don't see that as a problem. The problem is it was controlled by a couple of people and they just did what they wanted with it.
Ed, are you saying the foundation has two accounts?
Well, there's the Dick Oliphant scholarship, which was started many years ago. Dick, people gave to this.
Yeah.
And it's at the Desert Community Foundation, and the money is to be given for scholarships. Actually, for many years, it was given to high school students. And in recent years, we gave it to students at Cal State. And there was a reason for that, but we can discuss it at a later time. But the other foundation that was started for our own Rotary, which Doug restarted, was actually money was raised for scholarships. We raised that money at beer selling. And when we sold beer, we said to people, you're doing this for scholarships. Well, their point of view is, well, we can use it for anything. And they did. They did. So I'm not saying it should be that restrictive. I'm just saying we need some controls so that any future funds dispersed or money raised is deceptive. We're telling donors this is for scholarships, and then we give it to a church, you know. So it just
Well, there's a separate board for the foundation,
I think that would be a good idea.
and it's established. I mean, I don't know, 2 or 3 years ago, I rewrote the bylaws for the foundation.
I think I'm on it, actually.
Yes, people are on it, but they have no
Yeah.
control.
But for there to be accountability, the foundation board has to have meetings and so forth. And to my knowledge, there hasn't been a meeting for a couple of years.
No, no, because there was one when they asked me to be on it, and it was just rubber stamping something. And I go, okay. And it wasn't giving out money, but yeah, I think officially I'm on it.
Okay.
And I
Yeah.
guess they figured I would just go, whatever.
So I think
I saw your name in print, Corinne. So I think you're on a
That's
board.
what I
know
said.
that. Yeah.
It was just
Yeah.
one time. Yeah,
Yeah.
They didn't
Yeah.
consult her or anyone else when they gave
the
money,
money.
to Father
Oh, because
Lincoln.
this was after
When they
that.
gave money to Steve for making masks. I'm not
can
saying these are not worthy. I'm just saying this is not what, you know, the
It's a real
Rotary
process.
elected to do. It was where a couple of people
Can-
decided.
Can the board ask the foundation board for a meeting?
Yes, yes, the board can ask for those. But I think the best thing
Because
is,
that would be a good idea, would be to call the foundation board for a meeting with the board.
Well,
let me complete what I wanted to say.
Okay,
I think the best idea is the one that Mr. Oliphant is suggesting. Even that money we have for his trust, it's with the community board, and when we spend the money, we actually authorized by the scholarship committee, and then Mary disburses the funds. Ed, correct me if I am correct, that when that scholarship from the Dick Oliphant Trust is given out, the money is with community board, and our committee of the scholarship committee approves the disbursement, even though we know the amount is known. And then when it is approved, then Mary disburses it. So there is that.
That's generally correct. What happened, for example, historically, as I said, the money from the Oliphant Scholarship was given to high school students, generally $1,000 at a time, or this and that. So I had raised the question that part of the problem is we gave money to a number of high school students, but we gave them small amounts of money, and many of these students never finished. You know, so the notion was to give instead to juniors and seniors at Cal State, where the money was given specifically to students who were in the Legacy Scholarship Program that Ward started. But the gist of it is they are likely to finish because these are the best high school students that apply to the university. So, and they have to maintain a certain grade average. So these are very special, exceptional students. And the money is then given to them as a full ride scholarship for a few years. But this guarantees that they'll graduate. We don't just give somebody $1,000 and they never finish college, so to speak. So this was our rationale for doing it. But as Dick pointed out, the purpose of it is scholarships, whether that's to high school or to college students. So I thought at some future time we can debate what to do, because Doug has been telling me he thinks we should go back the other way to give money, $500 at a time to this high school student, so on, that kind of thing, which used to be the case.
Let me get back to the trail. What I was thinking is that precisely the same organization we can do with our foundation money give it to the community foundation to manage it. And when we have a distribution out of it, we'll have the committee of our club decide what that money and how much. And that directive then will go to Mary. Mary will write the check. So we'll have a check and balance. At the moment, between Claudette and Doug, they gave out the checks. There was no balance in checks.
You got it.
Yeah, that's what's been happening. But I think my recollection is there's a contract between the Rotary Club of Indian Wells Foundation and an entity at the Cal State San Bernardino Palm Desert campus that obligates us for maybe one more year. I think it was a 5-year agreement. Unfortunately, Ward is not on the call now, but I think Ward has all the particulars about that.
But I know it too. And
Good.
there are 2 students that have graduated that started, and 1 more that's finished, and that would be this year. And I spoke to Mary about that.
Okay.
So after this year, we have no more obligation for that money. Not that we couldn't obligate it again, but we are not obligated at this time. And also with the money, as Dick has pointed out, since it was raised in his name, this money is for a specific purpose. So we can't go to the Desert Community Foundation and say, we want a new building or any other kind of thing. It's strictly for scholarships. Whereas the money that was raised from our car shows and other things that Doug has in that foundation, there is more flexibility there. And that's the reason I'm arguing that we should try to keep that separate. Now, it could be given to the desert community to start a new group for our Rotary, but to have it be for the same purpose, I think would be a mistake, because this gives us some flexibility, whereas the other one, it does not.
I'm not arguing for the same cause. I'm saying the structurally to set it up so that we have automatic oversight. At the moment, we had no oversight over Clark and Doug. They gave out 15,000 to by telling lies. Actually, I remember the saying that we have checked with everybody. Everybody agrees with giving the money to Father Lincoln. I had no idea who is Father Lincoln.
Well, even if you did, that's not a legitimate case. He was not told what the money was for, and so he gave it to it for rent in Indio. It was just ridiculous.
So I move that I make a motion that Ed get with Mary and Doug or whomever and find out how we can set that up.
Yeah, we
separate entity.
Funds into the community foundation, separate account, and then we'll have an oversight over it. Because then we'll have a committee which will be flexible. You can go 180 degrees or 63, depending on your inclination. But it will be and separate, and it will have an oversight.
Well, we have to find out from Doug, and he's very protective of it as if it's his own money. So somehow or another, we have to actually get him to explain where the funds are and so on. So he doesn't have that kind of
You
control.
need to call a committee meeting so that he is there to report to the committee.
Absolutely.
The money is there in the bank. We just have to know which bank so that we get the statement.
How much is there?
That's it. We don't even know where the money is.
It should not be a big dark secret to the Rotary Club, okay?
Yes.
There was another person on that call.
Ooh.
I don't remember.
I will look back through all of my stacks of papers, Corinne, and I'll see if I can find it, because I remember seeing Rotary Foundation. It was Doug Hanson, treasurer. It had your name, and it had one other person. And
Yeah, I can't remember.
I can remember who that other person was.
Yeah, let's find out if we can find out where the
Because
money
that,
is.
to me,
and so
the
on.
Rotary, that particular one should also be something that the past president sits on.
And if you go through those boxes, there are 2 pieces of information where you'll find that also. One is the report that goes to the state.
Yeah. That's
to,
the stuff that you and Diane have, you know, Corinne, all of those boxes. that were turned
Yeah,
over.
Diane has them.
Yeah, what was turned over to us that we don't know if that's all of it or not, you know.
other one is IRS 501 or 503C, whatever.
Yeah.
But also you have to tell where is your account. Where is-
Yeah, yeah.
Those two pieces plus the bank statement. will
It would
tell-
also be nice to know who is our CPA and who's our accountant. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't even know where our taxes are done, you know? I mean, it's
Who's
just,
filing the returns?
yeah, it's a like down the rabbit hole, you know? And I think that the Rotary Foundation should have the past president on that committee too.
On the foundation, that's automatic.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, yeah.
Rotary Foundation, that's in our bylaws.
Mhm.
So after me will be you and so on and so forth.
Mhm.
But in terms of spending the money,
So then technically Claudette, Doug, and Corinne were on that committee because she was the past president.
I was on the committee, but I went to one meeting about 3 years ago. Yeah.
It's like the.
Good.
our
Need to call a new committee meeting.
Yeah, you
absolutely.
call a committee.
once we know where the money is, then we have to transfer it.
Mhm.
Some, I think, to the,
Right.
our,
One of the Indian Wells banks.
The
and
one that is that the one that's the other account that you said I couldn't have any knowledge of? Because I did not sit on the foundation.
and if we send it to the community foundation and have them maintain it as a separate account, then we'll have supervision on it. We'll
So
have
we don't want it in the Desert Community Foundation. Because once you give it to them, it's theirs.
Yeah,
That's right.
Then we self-direct it.
Okay,
yeah, we don't want
And
it,
that's the way it is now. It's
We want it
self-directed.
in a bank.
we don't want
Right.
it the scholarship one because then it can only be used for scholarship. That the account of,
Right.
but if we have it in a bank account, then we can use it as
We-
discretionary funds or set up certain amount of money to be given to the desert community for it to build funds. But
so we can have the same bank for the club and the foundation.
mhm, mhm.
Yes.
And that will,
Maybe,
Mr. Oliphant's bank, are you still holding that bank yet or let it go?
what's that?
The First Foundation Bank,
First Foundation Bank is in Indian Wells.
Right,
That's
yeah.
Andrea Dura. It's the manager.
your bank used to be also something to do with First.
Oh, my bank was First Bank. I founded First Bank.
Correct.
Chairman of the board for years.
But in
Yeah.
Indian Wells, there's PMB, there's Pacific Western, and there's First Foundation. So we have three banks
Yeah.
in Indian Wells.
Greg, just to give you a little history on the Oliphant Scholarship. We had a member in our club by the name of Norman Aaron. Norman was one of the most aggressive fundraisers you've ever seen. And he got this idea of creating a scholarship fund, but he wanted a big one. And so he came to me and he said, I want to build a scholarship fund, but I want to build it in your name. And I want you to match what I raise. And so I agreed that I'd match up to $50,000 of what he raised. He went out and raised about $75,000, bam. So he got my $50,000. So we started out with $125,000.
It's a
But I
nice
mean,
part.
everybody in the desert gave to it, and they gave to it because it was for scholarships.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it was in my name. And
So that's
that's how it started.
that's the beginning of the corpus of the fund that's with the Desert Community Foundation. now.
That's it. Yeah.
Right.
Mhm.
Which
Okay.
is now what, 315,000, did you say, Ed, somewhere around
It's
there?
over
think it's-
300,000.
And
It's up
we've
there
given out,
someplace.
scholarships on top of that, so that's fantastic.
Yeah, we've never
We give
given
out
more.
$15,000 a year.
We give out the interest, or, yeah, we never touch the
We
principal.
never
Basically,
touch the
the
corpus.
interest, $15,000 a year, which, 3 scholarships, $5,000 each.
Mhm.
That's what we've done in the past
Yeah.
3 or 4 years.
Yeah, those are meaningful scholarships.
Very meaningful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, what happened before, I wasn't involved in it, so I'm not judgmental about it. It just seemed like it didn't have that much impact. Doug's point of view was we have a lot more notoriety for the club because we might give out 15 scholarships of $1,000 each to high school students. But as you know, $1,000 doesn't go very far in going to any college. And so it's not like it was anything significant. And there also was no criteria with respect to need. For example, Doug's son got a scholarship. And clearly he didn't have the need. He had the money to fund his own son. So that was another issue that I was concerned about, that, although we knew who was receiving the scholarships, we weren't having much impact on them. We didn't know if the students ever graduated, and it wasn't a basis of need. Whereas the legacy scholarships that Ward put together, as I mentioned, these are the best students that apply to Cal State. They have a 3.5 GPA, and they have to maintain that the whole 4 years that they're in. And so there's a definite need, otherwise they wouldn't receive it. So this way we know we're actually impacting in a significant way 3 individuals who actually are guaranteed to get their scholarship every year. Part of the problem that we've also discovered with other scholarship things, people give a scholarship, let's say in the first year, but then the second year, students don't have the money to go and they drop out or they change schools or whatever. This way, a student starts, they know they're going to get the scholarship all the way through if they maintain their grades.
Have we ever had anyone not complete the scholarship program, Ed?
No one has dropped out.
Fantastic.
We've had one student that didn't make 3.5 in a semester, and so this person was not given the scholarship. But all the others have received it. Most of them happen to be nursing students because the best students that apply are to the nursing program. It's not a bias, it's just the nature of who applies for these scholarships. So,
The good news is the graduates usually stay here in the Valley.
yeah, that's the other thing, Dick. That was the other idea here. Whereas money given before was given wherever people went. Here, we're trying to retain the brightest people to stay in the Valley. I mean, it's not slavery. We can't force them to do it, but they say they want to do it. That's what they tell us. So
Sure.
And in many
hopefully
cases,
most do.
in many cases, they're the very first member of their family getting a college education.
That's right.
True.
That's correct.
Yeah, the most bothersome thing is, if Doug thinks that the purpose of handing out scholarships is to create notoriety for the club, I think that's misguided.
Yeah.
These people, it's true, we're not giving out money to 15 people, but the people that do receive it are called Indian Wells Rotary Scholars. And so they know that. We publish that. They can tell other people inside the university that they're Indian Wells Rotary Scholars.
Right.
And so there's a competition for those funds.
Well, just like Chuck made that YouTube thing for us, so that the scholars could speak to us at our meeting, right? Where each of them came and how thankful they were to the Indian Wells Rotary. And this was their last year, right?
That's right.
So,
They did those little videos
Yeah.
thanking us for the money they had. I mean, there's no doubt, they're exceptional students, and we give the money above what they already get for scholarships. So for example, if they get $3,000 a year from other sources, we only give 2. In other words, we make sure that they have the total amount, but we give the balance. We don't give them extra money. So this way they have a full ride scholarship, but most of them already have some scholarship money coming, so we don't have to give the full amount to be able to make it. So
I think that's smart. My experience, my personal experience, when I graduated from high school, I got a very small scholarship from the Kiwanis Club in Anaheim. And I think I bought a couple of cases of beer with it. I mean, you
Well,
know,
that's what Ward said. I
You're
mean,
honest.
he said this is beer money for students.
right.
Literally.
I
Literally.
got a scholarship of $500 from the Lions Club because my dad was president, but other than that,
Yeah,
I
it's
don't
not
remember
that,
what happened to it, but I did go to college.
well, it's
You
not
know,
that it's
but
irrelevant, but
for me, it's the reason I joined the Rotary Club is my two daughters graduate the Palm Desert High, and then both of them got the Rotary, the scholarships from the Palm Desert, and then it's $1,000. But it's they got that for collecting more than 10,000 from the small amount here there, so they got the scholarships. But for me, I the kind of open up my eye for that for Rotary. Who is the Rotary? Why they gave away the good student? So that's the other side. We choose the right person, they stay here. I agree that, but the scholarships for spread out to give away is not exactly we got that for fruit in the decade, but after that they still talking about and they proud of that. So that's another things, scholarships. When that Dick Oliphant start, the scholarships, it's about 20 years, right? And then
Yeah.
I also participating, and then CODs, the student at that time, we are in Indian Wells Resort, the country club. They come up and then everybody has some kind of, not much at that time, 500 or something, but they are very humble. And then to take that the scholarships. I think that one is another reason we spread out. We are not the farmers to, the whatever we seeding and then we got the fruit, that's great. But, it's who knows where the seeds growing up and then what kind of a fruit we will get later. That's, Rotary has, 100 years more than we have a history. So, that's why it's worldwide recognition. So we are Indian Wells, very small city. So I very the good idea to put in, some, that the scholarships just add mention about to choose the right one and then they stay in the valley. That's a good idea. But general idea is, we give away is not a waste of money. I want to say,
Okay, that's good to hear.
yeah.
Decide for sure, or do we need a motion to look for the money at a bank for the foundation also?
Well, I don't think we have the authority to do that.
No,
The
no.
the Rotary Foundation Board has to make that decision, Professor.
Depends on the board.
And one of the issues we have to be cognizant of, the IRS frowns on us as a Rotary Club board interfering with the foundation board.
Mhm.
They're two separate entities.
Yeah, that's why it's a 501c.
Right.
Yeah,
The
so we can't tell them what to do, but we certainly should know what they're doing.
But I think it makes sense to insist that we have a board meeting of the foundation
Correct.
so that we can all be, just as members of the club, we can be informed about how much money there is, where it's at, what the policies are in terms of dispensing that money, and those sort of things.
What bank it's at.
Yeah, exactly.
What bank account number is it? Yeah.
If nothing else, I'll find out the bank account because my check that I wrote to the foundation for the matching fund,
Yeah.
I'll go
Because I
get,
know Margaret told me she could not say anything at all about the 501c account. So, and I understood that.
and always go to the bank and get the copy of the council check. On the back, it will have the bank information. So on July 1st, then we'll have a new board.
Mhm.
It will include me because I'll then move up to the presidency of the foundation. Doug would be still, and who else is in that board? Because I do need to see if we can get another different treasurer, because I mean, it will be so painful to get anything done with his strident, um, uh, whatever.
Well, Professor, if there's a meeting of the board called, I mean, I think those of us who serve on the foundation board will have your back. You know, I mean, you won't be out there flopping around like a fish on the deck of a boat, you know.
You are on the foundation board then.
Yeah. So you have Corinne, you will have yourself, and you'll have Doug. So, and you'll technically should have the parliament. Greg, you wouldn't be at that as parliamentarian at Rotary, would you? Because that's a 501c.
Well, but I'm on that board. I'm on the Rotary Foundation board.
Okay, you're on that board?
You are too.
Perfect. You will be there. We got our parliamentarian there. Okay.
Last time I checked, I was.
Who knows? Who knows?
You two should get together and figure it out.
Yeah.
Speak to Doug and
Yeah.
Yeah.
try to make that happen.
Yeah. And then I mean, if nothing else, we must have 2 signatures on any check. So that at least the other person, somebody would be responsible who can say, okay, no, this money does not go to Father Lincoln, it goes to Father DeSera or something.
Well, what's going
Mother
on with
Teresa.
Doug? He's been kind of MIA. Is he still involved?
Now, I have to tell you guys something. I don't even know it. It's very interesting. This goes back at around the time when I started my presidency. I didn't get it, but there was an anonymous check for something like $500 that came to our Rotary Club. It was written by somebody who had a PO box address in Palm Springs. And the name was something I would suspect on the no-fly zone, no-fly list. And so I told, she asked, Claudette asked Steve Rosen, what should I do? Or I'm going to deposit it right away. And so Steve said, talk to Professor. I said, no, don't deposit it, because if it is tainted money, they will close our bank down and our account down, because it had that kind of name. Didn't listen to me. Went ahead, deposited the check. Luckily, the check went through the bank. We checked with the bank, which is one of the community banks here in Palm Springs. And since the account was open with them, then okay, meaning the bank has done the due diligence and is not on the no-fly list.
Well, from what I understand from Claudette regarding that, was that this man, as a young boy, had received a scholarship from a Rotary Club in his hometown back east somewhere.
Michigan.
Michigan. And he was now to where, after what, 50 years or 60 years or whatever, he decided to give it back to and he chose the Indian Wells Rotary to give the funds to. It was the same amount that he received.
The problem is he came from Michigan, in an area which is inhabited by Palestinians. I looked into it, and we couldn't find any address that he had on his bank account in the city of Palm Springs, even though we did a search, property search, a property valued at 74,000, showed up in his name. But that property address was as a simple plot, empty. So, but nevertheless, what happened ultimately, I satisfied myself that the bank has the account and it is open, and they have not put a stop to it. So it's a legitimate account. So, but that's
I
the,
have a 4:30
yes,
conference call I have to get on, so I'm gonna have to jump off.
okay.
Okay, Dick.
I
So we have a,
Talk to you all soon.
I don't think we have any more agenda. So
you'll get the budget, we'll get a copy of the budget from you to everyone, right?
what was the,
Dr. Malpak, you're gonna send a copy of your budget to everyone so we can review it, right? Okay,
yes, yes, I will. I will.
and we're gonna call a board, and you're gonna call a board meeting of the foundation.
Okay.
Yes,
Anderson,
good idea.
I'll call that in July.
Okay, and July 1st, we're gonna move bank,
Uh,
our bank, the Rotary Club Bank.
By then, hopefully we'll be able to move our bank.
Yeah, July 1st, we can move, yeah.
Got it.
Okay, bye, everyone. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Great time.
talk.
Where's you going for dinner?
The meeting.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.